These are the WH950NB noise cancelling headphones from Edifier. How good are they? Let's find out. Before I start, a quick disclaimer. This video is sponsored by Edifier, who sent me these headphones for free. However, this does not impact my review, which remains objective and unbiased. At $179, these are mid-range headphones. However, they pack a lot of features. For starters, they support high-res audio, and there's LDAC support over there. They also have noise cancellation and pretty good call quality. And they sound quite nice as well. Let's start with the design, and I really like how these look. They really do have a premium look and feel. There's a sort of a fake leather feel on the ear cups and a kind of a stainless feel on the headband. And then the cushions are very, very comfortable and very soft to the touch. They look really nice, and to be honest, they feel more premium or expensive than their price. The ear cups swivel, and you can also fold these down, which is really nice for portability. They also come with a nice fabric carrying case, which you can put these in once folded. And they're quite comfortable to wear. I wore them over several hours and I never felt any discomfort, even with my glasses on. In terms of controls, there's a couple of buttons on the right ear cup. There's a volume up and down, which also double as media control if you press and hold. There's the button in the middle, which is the power button. And then there's a multifunction button, which you can use to cycle through the different modes or to cycle through ANC. All of that is configurable in the app. And speaking of the app, there's a pretty nice Edifier app that's quite well made and allows you a pretty decent amount of customizations. Let's take a look at that. So when you launch the app, there's a couple of options that you can see. You can toggle noise cancellation from high noise cancellation to low noise cancellation. There's no variable ANC, just the settings of high and low. However, there's wind reduction, which attempts to reduce the sound of gusts of wind that's usually picked up with the microphones. And I tested this with a fan and it performed quite well. It significantly reduced the sound of that wind gusts. There's also ambient sound, which sounds quite decent. It's not the most natural ambient sound, but it's quite decent. The nice thing is you can also customize this from -3 to +3. So it gives you 6 different levels of ambient sound, level 3 allowing in most of the background sounds. And you can also turn off noise cancellation. And then if we go here is where you can see the classic and the dynamic EQs, but then there's the customized one, and this one lets you dial in any custom EQ. Now by default, you can see the frequency bands at the bottom. There's 100 Hz, 2000, 4000, and 8000. Now what's interesting here is that you can select any of those 4 frequency bands over there and dial in whatever custom frequency. So I can change this from 2000 to 3000 Hz, for example, and then play around with the gain. Lastly, there's sound mode, there's game mode, which has very low latency, and then there's movie mode if you're watching any movies. And with movie mode, there's kind of a virtual surround simulation, which works relatively well for virtual surround. Going into settings, you can customize what the buttons do. So you get the single press, double press, and press and hold. You can customize what you want each of those to do. You can enable multi-point connectivity, or the ability to connect to 2 devices at the same time. And you can set or enable or disable safe volume, which is nice to have. In terms of battery life, these boast 55 hours with noise cancellation off and 34 hours with noise cancellation on, which is pretty decent. They only need an hour and a half for full charge, and a 10-minute quick charge will give you up to 7 hours of playback, which is not bad at all. Now let's talk about the noise cancellation in these, and I found it's quite respectable. Of course, you cannot compare it to the noise cancellation on the Sony's XM5s or the Bose QC45s or QC Ultras, because those cost almost twice as much as these, so it's an apples to oranges comparison. But for the price point, I found the noise cancellation was quite good. It effectively reduces, doesn't cancel out, but reduces low frequency sounds like the hum of an engine. There's some degree of passive noise isolation with the ear cups that cover your ears. So again, for the price point, I found the noise cancellation was pretty decent. Now let's talk about sound quality. I'm not an audiophile, so I cannot give you an audiophile's perspective on these, but what I can say is I really enjoyed how they sound, especially given their price point. I think they sound quite good. The sound was quite balanced. It's not too bass heavy or overpowering, and I found it has relatively clean and detailed mids and highs. The nice thing is you have that EQ in the app, which allows you to customize fairly well the sound to your liking, especially that you can dial in whatever frequency band you want and customize it there, so you can play around to a certain degree with how these sound. They have 40mm dynamic drivers, and as I said, they support high-res audio, but that's only LDAC. There's no AAC or aptX. So if you are an iPhone user, you cannot get any high-res audio. That's unfortunately only for Android, but nonetheless, for a $179 pair of headphones, I thought they sounded quite good. Now let's see how these perform with the call quality tests. They support 4 microphones for crystal clear calls, as they state on the website. Do they deliver? Let's find out. So this is what the WH950NB from Edifier sounds like in a quiet environment. I'm going to now turn on the loud vacuum cleaner next to me so you can see how well it can cancel out the sound of this vacuum cleaner. And this is how the Edifier WH950NB sound like with a very loud vacuum cleaner running in the background. Let me switch to the camera's microphone so you hear how loud this is. Quite loud. And now for the final test, let's head outside for a real-life, busy, noisy street to see how these perform on a noisy street. And this is what the WH950NB from Edifier sound like in a loud, quite windy environment. As you can see, there's a highway right behind me. There's a lot of cars passing by from all around, motorcycles as well. And this is how these headphones perform in a loud environment. Let me switch to the iPhone's microphone so you can hear how loud the environment actually is. So this is how loud the environment actually is with all the cars passing by. And there you have it. Let me know in the comments section what you thought about the call quality performance of these headphones in a loud environment. These sounded quite well. I think they have one of the better call quality performance from headphones that I tested. It was quite impressive how they canceled out that background sound, especially on that busy road. So would I recommend the WH950NBs from Edifier? And I think I would. At $179, and do check the links in the description to get the latest price, because as we speak, I think they're down to about $135 or $140 on Amazon. And at that price point, they're really a steal given the features and what they deliver. They look and feel really nice. I love how premium looking and comfortable they are. They sound quite decent. The ANC is quite respectable. They have very good battery life, and the call quality is quite impressive. So check those links for the latest price. And if you're in the market for a mid-range pair of headphones, I would definitely recommend you take a look at those. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments section what you thought. And as always, if you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.